Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Play, where today I built this Enderman XP farm. This is a design by Shulker, and it can get you from level 0 to 30 in about a minute. And it can also repair tools very fast as well, which is the main reason I built it. As you saw from the intro, I've been clearing out a mountain that's next to my base, and I was going to an ancient city before and mining the skull to repair my tools, and that was just way too slow. So I decided to just build this thing, and it is really good. It also gets me a ton of ender pearls as well, which is another bonus, but obviously it collects up really fast, so I have this little contraption here on the side to spit all of them out and help reduce lag. But yeah, let's go check out that mountain. So this right here is what I'm currently trying to work on removing. As you can see, it's right here next to my base. I think it would be nice to have this area be kind of flat so we can have more space for builds. I've never really cared for this mountain right here. I've always kind of known that I would take it down at some point. And it's a bit of a big project as well. You can see the beacon is over there. I've been working on it. It's not going to get done in one episode either. I'm going to slowly chip away at it over time. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on what's going on with that. So you might be wondering what the plan is for the rest of today's episode, and it has to do with this iron farm. So I've had this iron farm since pretty much the beginning of this world, and as time goes on, I'm building more builds, and it's becoming more of an eyesore. So I want to take this iron farm and put it inside of a build so that it's not just taking up this space randomly here. Now, because it's in the ground right here, I have to put all of these path blocks here to prevent spawning, but I could just push this design into the sky and then put it inside of a build so that I don't have to take up so much area, because trying to put a build around this would look out of place. I think it would be very bulky, and I just don't think it would fit in with what I've got going on in the village so far. So that's the plan. I'm going to push it into the sky. Oh, and here's all the chests that I've been using to store the materials that I've been getting from digging the mountain so far. This is gonna grow a lot more. Now, it's been a week since my last clip, and I know you just heard me say that I wouldn't clear the mountain up in a single episode, but yeah, as you can see, it's all gone. I decided to grind it out, which actually wasn't that bad when you have a haste beacon and turn on some music. I think it's pretty relaxing, but the reason for this grind is actually because I'm not sure what to do next. And I know that I said I would be working on a new build to put the iron farm in today, and I still might do that, but I've been working on a few new builds for it, and I'm not really happy with any of them. I want to avoid putting pressure on myself to make something just for the sake of getting another video out, so I'm going to take my time figuring out what I want to do. This will obviously push back when this video gets published, but I hope that means the quality is there. In the meantime, I have over 120,000 blocks that I collected, and as I'm still using my small day 1 storage system, there's nowhere for me to put it. And although I could make a better storage system, I'm not sure what I want to do for that yet either. So instead, I want to condense all of these resources into shulker boxes for now. So after many, many hours of end raiding, here's all of the loot that I ended up with. Got a lot of tools and armor, and of course, the good stuff. So all in all, it probably took me around 12 to 14 cities to get all this loot. But I should definitely be able to make more than enough shulker boxes to store all the materials from all of this. And just in case you're curious, I'll show you some of the statistics. So far I've killed 384 shulkers. I've mined 109,000 stone, 71,000 grass blocks, and 30,000 dirt. Most of that coming from the mountain that I took out. So now I need to put all of that into shulker boxes, and so I'm just going to take these and some chests, make as many boxes as I can, and I will get to working on storing all of these items. So as you can see, everything is now cleaned up, and it's looking really good, but it's also looking pretty plain. But this is essentially a blank canvas that I can now do whatever I want with. So if you remember, I started with like 3.5 stacks of shulker shells, and this is what I'm left with. So I can still make 21 shulker boxes left with that. And before I show you the storage, I want to show you guys something interesting. So here's the ores that I got from mining out the mountain. And I think it's pretty interesting because you can pretty clearly see the ore distribution from that. And I think it's pretty cool. But let's go check out the storage. So I have everything on the top floor here. And it was already packed before, but this time it's packed with shulker boxes. And yeah, I pretty much have the entirety of that mountain all stored in these 4 chests right here. And a little bit in here as well. So everything's cleaned up now, which is nice. I have a lot more space than I did before. But I'm still very tight on space. So I still need to upgrade my storage soon. And I also have a few of these boxes with nowhere to put that stuff as well right now. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I want to get back to working on the village today. It's been around 4 episodes since I last worked on it, and I think it's a good idea to keep going with it. So what I want to do today is add some more houses in, and possibly start getting the villagers in here. And for the houses today, I'm going to keep it pretty much to the same style that I've been going with so far, but with a little bit of variation. So far, I've done like an urban style, some boat houses, and today I'm going to do a neo-traditionalism house, and I'm going to put them over here, which is perfect because I just cleared up this area in today's episode. And as you can see, I have these path blocks marked here so that I know where each one is going to go. So we have a total of 3 builds today. So what I've been doing with these builds so far is putting a lot of attention and focus into detailing the windows and doorways as much as I can to create as much interest as I can. And today I'm going to do the same thing, except we're going to kick it up a notch. So usually what I've been doing so far is I'll have mud or some other kind of backdrop block with glass in front of it. Okay, so I've been doing this so far, and then maybe I'll have some trapdoors on the side to frame it in. And that's about where I would go so far. Okay, today we're gonna add like, this is already 3 layers, right? We're gonna add like 2 to 3 more layers on top of this. So they're gonna be pretty like wide, I guess. It's like a perspective build, but you'll see what I mean. So what I'm gonna do in addition is glass already has these like, it's kind of hard to see with the shaders on. Glass already has like these dark borders around them, like the gray on the glass. But if you put glass panes behind them, you'll see that we get the lines in the middle of it in addition to like the sides of it. And I think that makes it look like a more realistic window frame. Let me put this behind it so you can see it better. So we're gonna keep doing this like framing thing, except today I'm gonna make it like 2 or 3 blocks in more depth. So I'm gonna go something like this again. Okay, so we're still gonna do something like this, right? Where I have this frame in, but I'm gonna do a second layer, like I said, behind it, and then I could do something like this, another where it's just separating it more. Because like you can't do this in this block because it's already taking up the space. But if you just push it into the block behind it, you get that space. And you can do something like this. You can try to make it different so that it's not the same every time. And in fact, one of the builds that I'm going to do today is going to... Hold on, let me grab another block. One of the builds today is going to have these cherry trapdoors to be curtains behind the frame. And so I think that'll look kind of interesting. So I'm going to quickly clean this up and we can roll the time lapse. I am really happy with how these turned out. And I know that the concept of having 6 block deep windows is still pretty weird, but I want you to forget about that for a second because I want you to see these builds through my eyes. Usually you can't get this level of detail, and I think it can go a long way with creating a certain feel in a build. Just looking at this, if you didn't know what was going on, and I know you probably don't know what's going on, but like I think that looks crazy. But yeah, overall, I'm just really happy with how these builds came out. So I'm gonna go one by one and kind of talk about all the things that I like from each one, and then after that, I'll show you what's going on inside. But I want to take a look from the outside first. So starting with this build, we have this window, and it has some cherry trapdoors with some birch trapdoors behind it. The birch trapdoors have the same grid texture that the cherry ones have, and it has like a nice, it's like a nice subtle detail behind it. We've got this window on the right. It's like a blocked off window with brick, and there's also an AC on it. On the balcony, we have the railing made out of extended pistons coming down to the first floor. Got another of the same kind of window. In the doors, I have a little drip leaf at the front, but I also have these scaffolding behind as well with more of the birch trapdoors behind it. It just looks so nice. I love it. And of course, we've got this big window making use of the glass trick I showed earlier. Coming around the side here, we have this little shelving with some plants, and there's a dead one on top because I imagine the person who lives here couldn't reach it, got lazy, and just let it die. Another door here. Coming around the back, you'll see that there's not much back here. I'm planning on just covering up this side with some trees. We'll make our way back to the front. And I want to show you guys this too. Oh, I didn't mention the sign. Yeah, we've got this sign here too that I think it looks really cool. But this AC unit that I have here is making use of the crafter block. And there's so many things I like about this. For one, I like that the the lever is connecting to that piece in the middle. I also like that the bottom texture, which is on its side right now, matches kind of like that. And then on its side, it has this wood texture. It just looks so nice. It's a cool looking block. Not using it for its intended purpose at all. Coming over to this second building. This is probably my favorite, personally, of the 3 builds, and it's got to do with this top window here. Not only does it look great, but in the back, you'll see that I have this block gradient going from the bamboo planks up to the mud bricks. And what's really cool about that is at night, especially, it looks like there's a glow in the room. And there is a glow from the frog lights, but this just exaggerates that look. And I really like it. So I think this build actually looks a lot better at night, which I can't say, I don't think I could say that for any of the other builds that I've ever done ever. So I really like that. We've got this patio down here with the bay window at the front. And another window making use of that gradient. Oh, I said I wouldn't go in there yet. Let's check out the last one. So this one is a very interesting build because I was trying to get like as experimental with it as I could in terms of like the block palette. And so I have the chiseled bookshelves, which is a really expensive block to be using in mass like I did. And above that, you'll see I'm using doors. I don't know if you could tell that that's doors, but those are doors. I'm using the bottom half of the oak one and then the jungle one, and they have like kind of a similar texture, but it is a different block. So I think that it just has that nice subtle variation that I really like. Coming down here, we've got this giant window, and I kind of see this building, or at least this first floor, as like a convenience store, and they usually have like a giant window on the front. So that's what I imagine that is. On the side here, we have this, what I'm considering a fruit stand, even though it's ironically made of all the vegetable plants in the game. And then covering up like the glass because it was exposed, we have some paintings, another AC, and then another sign, 2 signs. But yeah, that's all really there is to the builds, and I say all there is, but each of these builds takes so long to build because there's so much detail. But yeah, I will show you inside now. And as you can tell, or as you might be able to guess, I should say, it's looking pretty crazy. This is how it always looks every time I build one of these build styles, you know, like these and the urban houses as well. They look pretty chaotic, and you might not think that we can do interiors in these, especially this one. This one's like really small. Yeah, this one's really small because of all the details. But we can and will do interiors. Like I said, I did the depth thing, albeit not to the same degree, but I did that to these builds, and I was able to, this one's like a laundromat, and then if we come down the street, this one right here is an izakaya, or a restaurant, and this one turned out really good. This one is probably one of my personal favorites. But yeah, we can still do interiors. You just got to get creative with how you do it with limited space. And as you can see, we actually have a villager. I started moving villagers in here. I'm gonna go to sleep real quick. But yes, I have started moving the villagers into the builds, and by that I mean just this guy so far. I plan on putting villagers into like different themed, like the differently themed environments. Um, that is not a great way of explaining that. But let me just tell you, the farmer who sells food is in the restaurant. Okay? So hopefully that makes more sense than what I just said. So I'm planning on doing this with all my villagers. I want each one to be in like an appropriate themed house for their profession. And so I'm gonna try to get like 1 or 2 more guys in here so I can buy more golden carrots because I'm able to get that now, which is very nice. I lost my train of thought. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna move more this episode. I'm still like trying to get all the villagers together and breeding them and getting their different traits. So we're not gonna do that this episode because I've done a lot this episode already. Lastly, I worked on this road right here, and I just kind of threw this together. It's not like something I put a lot of thought into, but I kind of like how it turned out. I just like the way that the mossy cobble looks with tuff. I think it's a nice look. I'll probably add a little bit more to it later because, as I said, I just threw it together just to get something down. But I think, yeah, this area is looking really good. I am really happy with how everything is coming together. This whole like alley now just has a really cool vibe to it, and I'm very satisfied with how it's turning out. All these builds are looking really good. I love them. But guys, I think we're gonna wrap things up there. We got a lot done today. I built an Enderman farm, cleared out a mountain, got these builds done, and we're starting to move the villagers in now, finally, after too long. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, and I don't really like to ask this too often, but if you guys did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos just like this. It really helps out the channel. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.